Hi everyone, this is Carla, and this time I'm here with a review for the latest episode or slash movie, I guess, um, from the BBC show Sherlock, which was titled The Abominable Bride. This is um, a special episode, special Christmas episode or holiday episode, whatever, that premiered just a few days ago on New Year's Day, and it also opened in theaters on that same day for a short run. So I guess it's either a special episode or a movie. I don't know what exactly the official version of it is, but it was on TV, so I'm going to review it as a TV show, as a part of a TV show. This is basically a story about Sherlock and Watson, again, but in Victorian times, like in the original Sherlock Holmes kind of vein, they're not modern anymore, or at least that's the way they sold it to us with the trailers and stuff. So when this was announced, I was like, they're doing Victorian Sherlock. That's interesting because that's how I became a Sherlock Holmes fan, right? I read the books, I watched a few movies in the series that they had, and basically they were all in Victorian times. So that was how I knew Sherlock Holmes up until the very beginning of the Sherlock TV series, right? So I thought it was an interesting take. I was curious. I didn't think it was going to fit into the canon of the series. I thought it was just going to be like an alternate universe kind of thing. And that was okay because it's a Christmas special, holiday special. It doesn't necessarily have to fit. They just do it to entertain people, whatever. Turns out that's totally wrong. It totally fits into the canon because not only was it a Victorian tale, it was modern day Sherlock imagining a Victorian tale as a way to explain things in his mind, in his own mind palace, or whatever it is they call it. And that just makes it all the more awesome in my mind. I don't know, I guess some people might feel kind of cheated. I haven't read any reviews on it or anything, so I'm not entirely sure what people are saying about it yet, but I liked it. It's not my favorite Sherlock episode by any stretch of the imagination, but I really like the idea because Sherlock wants to figure things out. And where we left off is that he got on the plane and it turns out that, Moriarty is not dead after all, which I love because Moriarty is awesome. He gets in that plane and he's told that he's not dead after all. And Sherlock has to make sense of this because he saw Moriarty die. So how could he even possibly come back in any fashion? He saw him die. He saw him shoot himself. So it makes total sense that Sherlock is kind of trying to figure things out. And he's not going to do it like normal people by going out and asking. No, he has to figure it out in his head in 5 minutes. Because that's just Sherlock. That's who Sherlock is. That's what he does. So I thought it made perfect sense. I thought the case was actually very intriguing, and after hearing how he explained the whole Abominable Bride thing, I feel really stupid because I'm like, I should have seen that coming. Why did I not see that coming with such a simple explanation? But I liked it. I liked the Victorian aspect of it a lot, because they were able to kind of bring in more stuff into it. It wasn't just about Sherlock. They also brought in Mary working with Mycroft, which I thought was cool because, as we know, in the modern day Sherlock, she's also kind of involved in that spy world. I like that they were able to bring in the suffragettes, the women fighting for their rights in the UK, which was a historical thing. I thought it was very good, and I like that they kind of made a point of it, that Mycroft said, this is a war we shouldn't win because they're right and we're wrong. Guess what? Yes, women deserve to have a vote and to have their rights respected by men and not treated like second-class citizens. So I'm glad they were able to do that, because Sherlock is a series that is overwhelmingly dominated by men, which, mind you, it's not a bad thing. I love that show. But yes, there's kind of a lack of women. There's Mary, but she was only in there for like one season, and then she kind of left the spy world and didn't do much after that. So, of course, there was Irene, but she was only there for one episode. It's good to see more representation. I mean, they have Molly there, but she doesn't do much other than, do her job. She's not. They had kind of that one episode where she attempted to play Watson to Sherlock's main character, but she hasn't done much. Like, it's still a boys' club at this point, so I'm glad they touched on it, and they mentioned that, hey, women can be just as devious as men, and, also they touched on abuse, which the husband was, of course, abusive to the woman, and I love that they had Molly kind of pull a Mulan, and just dress up as a man to be able to do her job. I love that John was the one who knew, and Sherlock kind of didn't figure it out. I don't think it was because he didn't understand or he didn't observe it. I just think it didn't matter to him at any point. It's like back in the first season or so when they were arguing about how Sherlock didn't believe that the Earth revolved, around the sun or something like that, something stupid like that. And he's like, it's not that I don't believe, it's just that it doesn't have any importance. It's not of any importance to me, right? So I think that's kind of what went on with Molly. It's not that he totally missed the fact that she was a woman, it's just... But I like that it gave John his little moment to shine, because honestly, John is my favorite character. I mean, everybody's like, oh, Cumberbatch, he's the best, and Sherlock is amazing, blah, blah, blah. I'm a John Watson girl. I'm a Morgan Freeman girl, so I love that he had that moment. I also love that they touched on Sherlock's addiction, because I think that's something that's felt kind of missing from the show. I mean, I know it's been mentioned at least a couple times, but I feel like it's something that in modern times would be so much more compelling as a storyline, and I feel it's kind of being left aside just because, John is there and he's kind of balancing Sherlock out so he doesn't need the drugs, but I would still like to be mentioned a bit more. I loved that it was Moriarty that pushed Sherlock back to drugs, because, again, it just goes to show how much Moriarty affects him. This is his arch enemy, and when they killed him off, we were all like, oh, he can't be dead. I mean, obviously, he's not going to be dead. But at the same time, we're like, if he's not dead, then how the heck did he pull that off? Sherlock is in the exact same position than we are, except he's, way smarter and gets way more frustrated when he can't solve things. So I like that. And I like that it's like the ultimate conundrum that he just doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what other point of view to seek in order to finally figure how he did it. So he ends up turning back to drugs. And I love that Watson called him out on it, John, because that's what he should do, and that's what everybody should do, because Mycroft is, very much an enabler in a sense. He's like, yeah, I'm here, but like from far away, let me just comfort you with this broomstick right here. But John is more like, nope, I'm not taking your crap. You get off of that, and then we'll talk about things. I love when John calls him out and stuff like that, and I love that he touched upon his drug addiction, because I feel like that's been kind of left aside for a lot of the show. Like I said, the Victorian plot was fine. I mean, when he solved it, it didn't seem that big a deal. Like, I figure other people smarter than me probably saw that coming. I didn't, because I'm stupid and it just happens that way. So, like, right now I feel like a big idiot because I didn't fear it. I'm like, she had 2 guns. Why didn't I not see that? But I still liked it. I mean, I thought it was ingenious. I thought the idea of it was ingenious. I liked that Emilia killed herself after all, like, to prove a point. I thought that was really ballsy. She's like, no, she's not just in hiding, living out her life, the rest of her life, and hoping to be able to vote one day. No, she killed herself. She made herself a martyr for the cause, and while it's not something that I recommend people do, it's really ballsy, so I like that. And I thought she looked really freaky too. Like, she looked like a zombie from the beginning, so I thought that was really great. Few complaints, I don't think Lestrade did much. He was kind of just there with, like, the long sideburns. That was pretty much all of it. I thought there was a little bit too much bantering about Mrs. Hudson, maybe. I could have used a little less, but I loved the way all the other characters kind of worked. I loved Mary. I loved the little trick with the mirror. That was interesting. I mean, I figured it was going to be something like that, but I didn't know exactly how they pulled it off, so that was cool. My one complaint is that we didn't see Irene again. I mean, we saw a lot of people again, like that girl who kissed Sherlock at the wedding. We saw her again. I'm like, can't they just bring Irene for one episode? Like, bring her back? I love Irene. Like, I really love Irene. She's one of my favorite characters in the show. And it kind of sucks that they only show, like, one picture of her. I love Moriarty. The actor who plays him, whose name escapes me, Andrew something, he is amazing. Okay? I believe he won, like, a BAFTA award for his role of Moriarty in, like, the first season. He deserves it. He's fantastic, and I love that they brought him back, even if it was just kind of a vision. I'm definitely hoping that he'll come back in the next season, although, of course, Sherlock said no, he's dead. He's actually really, like, super, very much totally dead. He can still come back in flashbacks. I don't care. I just want to see him there because he's always so compelling. And, the way they wave him in with the innuendo, it's kind of amazing, because this was a Victorian Sherlock Holmes, and there was so much innuendo between him and Benedict and Sherlock, that it just kind of blows my mind that they can actually pull that off, and he's so creepy, and I just love it. I mean, not the actor's great, but, like, he plays Moriarty so creepily that I get chills every time, so every time he's in, I'm sold. If they can bring him in again, just to torture Sherlock a little bit more, I don't care if he's dead, he can be a ghost, I don't care. If they bring him back just to torture Sherlock just a little bit more, I will love it. So yeah, overall, I like the special. It's not my favorite Sherlock episode by far, but I like that they pulled the wool off on me, over me, with the whole Victorian thing that turned out to not be Victorian after all. I thought that was great, and the characters were really good. I loved John, I loved Mary, I loved the suffragette plot, I loved Moriarty. Like, what is there not to love? We have Sherlock back, man. I mean, I don't know how much more we're gonna have to wait just to get another season. I don't even know if it's coming out this year. Like, maybe it's not, because after all, then Benedict has the Doctor Strange thing to do, and I mean, at least The Hobbit is over, so we don't have that, but still, Benedict's star is rising, so it's gonna be really busy. I don't know when we're gonna get another season of Sherlock. I don't know if they've said if it's this year or what, but I'm just glad to have Sherlock back, even if it's just for like 1.5 hours once a year. So I'm happy with it. It's not the perfect episode or anything, but it was good. It was entertaining. It was creepy. It did what it had to do, and I think it did a lot for Sherlock as a character, with the whole drug thing and the whole Moriarty thing. I thought it was good. I really liked it. So that's about it for my review. As usual, you can just visit our website at thegeekypub.com to check out more reviews for TV shows. We also have movies, we also have video games, we have books, we have a ton of stuff in there, so be sure to visit and check it out. And as usual, remember, if you guys want to be notified as soon as we upload anything new, then you want to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, because our reviews always go up first on YouTube. Even before they go on the site, they go on YouTube. So that's where you want to be if you want to be notified ASAP. And that's it from me. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.